Hi, this is my Luminosity yoga channel. My name is Anya, and today I'd like to talk to you about the new moon in Virgo and at the same time the role that Venus, now direct after her retrograde period, plays in this configuration. And so, if you're new here, this is a series of videos that actually help you embody the current astrology, particular transits. And in this series of my Venus retrograde in Leo series, I look at particular configurations, aspects, so-called aspects that Venus forms with other planets or asteroids in this case. So the Virgo new moon this year is on the 14th of September or on the 15th of September, depending on where you are on the planet. And Virgo is a mutable earth sign. So that means even though it has that quality of being earth, which suggests grounding or rooting, it also is ruled by the planet Mercury. And Mercury is very flexible and about communication, about networking, about information gathering. And it rules two different signs, also rules Gemini. And in Virgo, it has very much a quality of being able to discern what is good for us, for you, and what actually needs to go, what needs to be released from your system. And it is in medical astrology, there is a comparison with a large intestine. And also, in a sense, with a small intestine, especially that idea of discernment, what actually needs to be released and what we can integrate and use. There's also a function of a small intestine. So we'll be working today with the intestines, and at the same time, as I said, I want to look at what role Venus plays here. So Venus has been in Leo and will continue to be in Leo um, until October the 3rd, and it started sometime back in July. So it's been a very long period of Venus being in one sign. And in Leo, it's very much about awakening our creativity, our sovereignty, and really rooting in that, like really rooting in our wisdom, our beauty, like a healthy sense of self-confidence rather than arrogance or sense of entitlement, which is often um, also brought in when we talk about the subject or for the sign of Leo. So these could be like some more, let's say, aspects of Leo that others notice and are not very fond of. So at the same time, it's important to really show yourself and show how you shine and what makes you shine, and to take that into consideration, really what fills your heart. So Venus will be conjunct Juno, which is an asteroid, in this new moon configuration. And if you look for more information, more comprehensive information on the astrology, please go to Astrology Hub. There's some wonderful teachers, and there is a weekly weather, weekly astrological report of the transits that sheds a lot more light on the subject. So Juno is actually an asteroid, and it is the wife of Jupiter. So Juno is the wife of Jupiter, and in their marriage, there's a lot of kind of trespassing uh, in terms of not really acknowledging the other and just doing things behind their back and being out of integrity, which of course, which is of course something we can all relate to, that idea or that question of how can I be more in integrity, which I feel is very much a calling for this new moon, and which was brought up by Ari Moshe Wolf in the lunar forecast of the month on Astrology Hub, and I have a very high resonance with that idea and with what's happening in my life right now. So the idea, how will I show up with integrity for the things in my life, for myself also? What does that mean actually to be more in integrity, and also in my relationships? And that requires for me, I guess, to sit down and be very honest and really look at what it is that I want, what others want, the things that I'm available for, where I have a real yes to, so that I can, and also to really talk about things that uh, maybe in a diffuse space where I'm not sure and they cause me some discomfort or insecurity, and to actually have the courage to talk about them with the people in my life and bring more light into that, bring more clarity into what we're available for in our relating and whatnot, and what we actually want and how we can come together in that place. And I think that conjunction between Venus and Juno is an opportunity to actually foster that way of relating, like a healthy way of relating, where we try to be where we are more in our integrity. We're learning that, we're strengthening that integrity inside of us and in our relating. And that's an idea I'd like to set in as an intention. So you can just set it as an intention for yourself that you want to strengthen that. You can also take it as a question. If this is very difficult for you to grasp the concept, you can ask yourself, how can I be more in integrity within myself and while relating to others? So that's for me the idea I'd like to work with in this brief yoga practice. And for me, in when I engage in a yoga practice or spiritual practice or any kind of physical practice, what helps me connect with myself and my integrity is when I pay more attention to my breathing. Because usually when I do that, I start to come back to myself. And maybe I notice where I need to slow down, or where I need to take a break, or where I'm nervous or ungrounded. And noticing is the first way of helping me, like realign or reorient within that. So let's start by sitting and just find a comfortable seat. Making sure you're in a safe space, something that feels safe for you, where you feel nobody disturbs you for a while, or that it is if someone disturbs you, that is something you can easily deal with and then go back to your practicing. Let's just start by noticing how the body meets the ground, the earth underneath you, any surfaces that you might be sitting on. Noticing the right side, the right sitting bone, and the left sitting bone. Whether there's any difference in how they meet the earth. Without having to change anything or without needing to judge it, just becoming aware of that. And then also find your tailbone or your perineum if you can locate that. And just send a root from there into the center of the earth. If you feel yourself moving too much into the future or into the past, you can sense these movements as energetic balls, and you call them back into your pelvic floor, into your center, and then send them down into the earth. And then on your inhale, you receive energy from the earth and let it Move up the spine all the way up to the crown of the head. And just feel a slight pull from the crown of the head, and then exhaling everything down, back down into the earth. And at the end of the exhale, just very gently pull the pelvic floor and the belly in and out. And then just repeat, breathing deeply all the way up to the crown of the head. Inhale. And then exhale all the way down into the earth. One more time, all the way up to the crown. Chin slightly tilted, open your collarbones, let your sitting bones drop more, and exhaling down into the ground. And then bring the next inhale all the way up to the crown. And take a few deep in and exhales afterwards through the crown of the head, allowing energy from above to enter on the inhale. And releasing stress, tension, whatever you don't need right now, energies of others on your exhale. Taking a few deep in and exhales at the crown. And as you do this, really still feel that most of your weight goes down, is connected to the earth, and you find your seat between heaven and earth in your center. And the next exhale, bring it all the way down into the earth. And then you inhale both from the crown and from the tailbone to the heart center, the center of your chest, inhaling. And exhale in both directions, up and down. 3 times. And then you keep breathing in from the crown and the tailbone into the heart center, and then you exhale in the center of your heart, and you imagine yourself softening, really releasing whatever you don't need right now, whatever is stuck or tangled up in your heart. Inhaling from both poles and then exhaling through the center of your chest. And place your hands together in front of the heart. And just take 3 deep in and exhales through your heart center. And just sensing into your heart. And being grateful for having or taking the time to practice and connecting with yourself. And let's start with 1 round of on. Take a deep inhale. Bowing your head to your heart and then setting the intention of strengthening your integrity towards yourself, and as you or when you relate to others, you can use it as a question: how can I strengthen my integrity within myself and in relating with others? And you can find your own intention around the subject that has more resonance with yourself. So bring that into the body with your breathing. And then rub your hands together. And then cup your eyes with your palms. Take a few deep in and exhales. And then bring your hands down and just come front on all fours. And let's just open the heart space a little bit. So find a long spine and then really see if you can, rather than from your chin, really come front from your heart on your inhale. Bring the shoulder blades back. Just stay here for a couple of breaths. So you really move the shoulders back, the collarbones out, and be very gentle with the neck. So see that you're not straining in the neck. Just really find a position that works for you. And then your exhale, you round the lower middle upper back and you push the floor away. And just stay here as well for a couple of breaths, just to feel that. And feel the connection to the ground. Inhaling up into from the tailbone to the crown, and then exhaling down from the crown to the tailbone. And then we do it. So deep in an exhale, through the nose, active, breath of fire. If this is too fast, you do it slowly and in your own time. Three more. And then you tuck your toes under and bring your seat to your heels, really stretching out and open all the fingers. And place the forehead on the ground. Take a few deep in and exhales here and really feel the connection from your thumbs into the arms, from your index fingers into the arms, to the back of your heart, front of your heart, and from your little fingers also. Breathing deeply, and at the end of every exhale, really pull the belly against the spine, coming into downward facing dog. And you can move here on the spot for a moment, just inhaling up on the toes, exhaling, bending one knee. You can take the head with you, you can move the hips, you can go a bit more free flow here if you like. Just opening up a little bit. And come to the front of your mat. And then just bend your right knee, bring your left hand on the outside of your right shin and bring your left arm up, open up towards the sky. So we open the part of a large intestine that moves up, the side of the liver, upward moving energy. Take a few deep breaths here. You can really move the hand and always make sure that you're not just pulling the hand back, but you really try to open here gently in your heart space from the collarbones. And then exhale, change sides. Breathing deeply. Make sure you don't strain. If you need to adjust the hand, you move it further up the leg. That's just fine. If you need to bend both knees, just go with what is available to you right now and what feels good. So you can really breathe. Make sure you're not compromising the breath. And then exhale, come into forward fold. Take a moment to shake everything out. Really shaking out the arms, the head, maybe the hips. Just puckering the lips and going, and doing that 3 times. And it's okay if it feels silly, it's fine. Just allow yourself to be a bit silly. That might be difficult with that Virgo energy that always wants to be very perfect. Rolling up one vertebra at a time. Yeah, Virgo is very self-critical, so really watch out for that self-criticism and see if you can just um, appreciate yourself for being here right now. Inhale, bring your arms up, and exhale. You can bend your knees as much as you like as you move forward into forward fold. So inhale, half forward bend, and then we step the right leg back, so left is front, and then inhale, coming up. You can place the back knee down if that's too strenuous. Otherwise, stay here breathing deeply and just find a point that you can look at without straining again. Just an open focus. If it's too much, you can bend the back knee also. It's an option. Inhaling up to the crown, exhaling down into the ground. And bring the right hand next to the left foot. Bring the left arm up and just breathe again deeply. And also here, just really find like a very saturated contact with the ground through the hand and move the shoulders away from the ears. So you're opening up into both arms from your heart, and you breathe in your large intestine. Bring the arm down, and then move the left foot, the front foot in, so you come into a straddle pose to the side. Keep your arms under your heart, your sternum. Bring the left hand onto the ground, bend your right knee, bring your right arm up. And again, we're opening the colon, the side of the colon, the outward moving energy. Liver side. You can move the upper hand if you like. And always being gentle also with how much stretch is available to you right now. And then change hands and change also legs. So bring the right hand down, the left arm up, bend the left knee. Again, you can move the upper hand. And then we're going to come back into center. Bring our hands to our hips. Bend the knees and come up with a straight back. And now we're going to move the heels in and the toes out and come into what is called a goddess posture. And then we're just going to bring the shoulders forward a few times, breathing again into the sides of the body, into our digestive tract. And the meridians for the large intestine move from your index fingers through the arms into the shoulders, heart space, and for your heart from the little fingers. We're just moving that whole space. Inhale, we open up towards the sky, watch your lower back, open the upper back, and exhale, rounding. And we do that 2 more times. Inhale, open, and exhale, round. And really enjoy this. Really beautiful here with the open air and the sun, and exhale. And then just let the arms go. And we turn back to where we came. So right foot is front, left foot heel comes up, and the knee goes onto the ground. And I'm gonna bring the other knee also back for a camel vinyasa. Camel posture, just bring your hands onto the lower back and really keep your groins straight. Tilt your pelvis and just open again the upper back as much as available to you. And then on your exhale, we round a little bit here in the upper back. Inhale, we open as much as we can. Bring the elbows together. Breathe into the heart and shoulder space. And exhale, we round. And a few more times in your own rhythm. Breathing deeply into the digestive tract, into your heart. And again, just enjoying opening up. Being always very gentle with your head. So if it's uncomfortable for your head, just keep it in line or even keep the chin towards the chest. And only really open if it's fine and feels good for your neck. Exhale. And then come back into downward facing dog. And then inhale, bring your right leg up. And exhale, bring your right leg front. So we're going to do the other side. So now the right leg is front, feet hip width distance. And bring your arms up and just find a high lunge or warrior one variation. You can bend your back knee. You can also place it on the ground if it's too strenuous. Just keep breathing along the spine, inhaling up to the crown. Exhaling down. Finding steadiness in your gaze. So you make sure you have a gaze, an open gaze in front of you. Bring the left hand next to your right foot and the right arm up. And again, really feel that palm of your hand really pushing gently into the ground. Shoulders away from the ears. You can move the upper hand or the fingers. And then turn the front foot in, coming into straddle. And bend your left knee, bring the right hand onto the ground underneath your sternum, bring your left arm up. Now we are opening again that spleen side of the large intestine, the downward moving part of the colon. And again, you can move the upper hand, breathing deeply, enjoying. Just making sure you don't overstretch. So see if you can align the feet so the toes are facing front. Paying attention to details is very important with the moon in Virgo. Virgo is very attentive to detail. Bring the hand on the ground. Again, just breathing deeply here. Bring the hands down and again coming into the straddle posture. And then bring your heels in and bring the toes out. Bring the hands to your hips and just come up gently. The upper back for goddess posture again. And you can take a moment again just to move your shoulders. Breathing into the heart space. And again, we open, inhale, and really pay attention maybe to the little fingers here, the heart and the index fingers, large intestine. Breathe into them and exhale back into your heart, rounding. Inhale, open up. And exhale, rounding. And one more time, inhaling, opening up. Exhaling, rounding. And then bring your hands on the ground and just turning back to where you came from. Place the left knee on the ground. And then place also your right knee on the ground. And then bring your hands to the lower back. And you have different options. Either you stay here, as I do now, with the shins on the ground, just opening up the upper back. You can also tuck your toes under and reach for your heels on one side. Bring the other arm up. And then change to the other side. Or you can bring both hands back and come into the full posture. Again, paying attention to your neck, and only do that if that is available to you right now. For me, that doesn't really feel that good right now, so I'm just going to stay with this version and really make sure that I can breathe into the large intestine, into the heart, and enjoy my breath. And enjoy the space that I feel. Often there's a lot of nervous tension in those parts of the body for Virgo. A lot of mental energy getting trapped in the digestive tract. And then just take a moment to come onto the ground and lie on your front. And this is also very soothing for the nervous system. So just take a moment, bring your head to the side, and rest. And really relax your feet. And without changing anything, just feel the natural breath in your belly, how it is now. Allow your heart to soften and your ribs to move. And just turn the head the other direction and just let your breath relax completely. Come and go as it likes. Let your whole body release into the ground. Just feel the soothing quality of this posture for your nervous system. You can place pillows underneath or blankets on top of you. And place your forehead on the ground. Hands under your shoulders. Come back into a child's pose for a moment. If you need props, blankets, pillows, please take them. Place your forehead on the ground, your arms back. Bring your hands next to your knees, slowly roll up. And then just come into a seated posture. You can sit cross-legged or on your heels. Bring both hands onto your heart, and it can be the center of your chest or your real, more like your real heart. And just take a moment to connect with your breath and your heart space. Again, set the intention. I'm strengthening my integrity. within myself and in relating to others. And then just listen. Listen to your heart for a moment. And when there's doubts or worries or this tendency to want to give up because you don't know how to do this, just stay with your intention. Come back to your breath and come back to sensing your heart. And bring the hands into Anjali Mudra or prayer position. Think about something you're thankful in your life, something that you're thankful for, and just feel that in your heart space, in your whole body. And then dedicate the merits of your practice to all beings without one exception, and to yourself, to your integrity. Thank you for joining me. Namaste. And if you enjoy my free resources, please like, subscribe, share the video. I'm also grateful for your comments, your ideas, your questions regarding this practice. And I look forward to connecting with you again. You find links for Astrology Hub and from my website in show notes. I look forward to seeing you again soon. And have a wonderful Virgo New Moon season with Venus and Juno conjunction. Namaste.